Today is product B-roll day, but I have a little problem here in my studio. When I shoot product B-roll, this is usually what I use, the Micro 2 slider from Zeapon, and it works good overall, but I always have a hard time setting it up. Let me show you. Now, the easiest way to set up the slider would be to simply put it on a table to get a product B-roll shot, but as you can see, it is way too close to it. It definitely has to be a bit farther behind because I want to have a zoomed in shot. It shouldn't show too much of the background, so I have to move the slider away from the table. So the way how I always did it was that I just set it up on the trolley here, but as you might see, this is also not really solid. It actually fell over once and I was able to catch it in the last moment. So I always had a hard time setting up my slider before shooting product B-roll, and today I'm going to fix that. This is the Zeapon Micro 3 slider, and to be honest, when they sent it to me, I first didn't actually want to take it because I thought it's just another tool that slides my camera around. I already got that with the Micro 2, but then I saw that this slider comes with those legs here and they make it possible to properly mount it on a tripod. Now, there's another problem though. The tripod that I currently have is way too expensive and also not really good for that. I think I can't even mount it on it, so let's get a proper tripod. I need a tripod. Yeah, I think that's looking good. Can I also try the 70 to 200 f4? That will be hard to carry on the motorbike. Okay. I'm lucky she didn't see the lens. Oh, Pascal, how much was that? Let's set this up. I guess I need a base plate first. Perfect. I really appreciate phones right now. You can actually measure the level here easily via app. Living in the best times ever. The Zeapon Micro 3 slider also comes with a motor module, and that's something nice about this slider. It's super easy to attach. Motor is on. Yay, it works. That's actually a nice feature if you want to travel. It fits better in my motorbikes then, definitely, if I can reduce the length. And also sometimes maybe you only want to have a slider but you don't need the motor, then you can quickly unattach it like that. It's actually that easy. And it snaps right back on when you're back in your studio. This screw here also makes the slider a bit more travel friendly, at least when it works. If you want to put it in a backpack, for example, the screw will not damage your backpack. You can just keep the screw down there inside, at least if it works. Yeah, like that. Small feature, but it definitely makes the slider more travel friendly. Let's also see how it works together with the Pons PT system. There is a problem. This battery seems to be empty. It's not a big problem though, because you can power it via power bank. Okay, let's do some playtime. I want to test it with the app to move it in all directions. Firmware upgrades always come in the wrong moment, right? Nice, it seems to work. It's pretty quiet actually, can't hear the motor at all. There's one thing that I'm curious about on this slider, and that is this wheel here at the end where you can adjust the smoothness as far as I understand. And that has been a problem with the Micro 2 when I shot time lapses, that when the time lapse was too slow that the slider would not move at all anymore, it would just stand still. So here I'm curious if that solves it now. I set it to 1 now, so it should be super smooth. And now I will do a super slow time lapse and see if the slider still moves. And yes, it is actually slightly moving now at 1% of the speed. That is great. It didn't do that before. Now, this is not for the normal time-lapse modes that are a bit different for shooting photo time-lapses. This what I mean here is for a quick video time-lapse there, because oftentimes I don't need this super long photo time-lapses. And it is good to know that that finally works with the slider, at least when I set it to the first speed. I didn't try out the other ones, but why make it harder for the slider if I can keep it at the smoothest level? That is great. But let's also talk a bit more about the slider. As you can see already from my setup here, it comes with these support rods here, tripod support rods, and you could get them separately before for the Micro 2 slider, but now they are included. For me, that's actually a big feature. And it also comes now with this hella flush design, so the rails are not straight anymore. They are angled in a 45-degree angle. I don't actually know why that's better, but it's probably because it can support a bit more weight, now up to 12 kilograms. It's actually quite a lot, but to be honest, I don't think it makes a big difference, because when do you actually have 12 kilograms on the slider? I think even the Micro 2 already was hard to max out. And you can also replace the belt now by yourself with any 3M rubber synchronous belt. I don't know anything about these belts, to be honest, but knowing that I can easily replace the belt even with some standard ones, that's good to know. And the overall support system has improved. It now uses a triple support system, so you have one screw at the end here, one in the middle and one at the other end, and that means that you can even mount it upside down if you want to get some really special sliding shots. I will probably never use that, but it's definitely good to know that you can if you want to. Maybe you have some studio where you want to have some sliding shots of products from the top, then that is definitely a slider that you should look into. But if you now ask yourself if you should upgrade from the Micro 2 to this slider, I think that if you're happy with the Micro 2 or Micro 2 Plus, then there's really no reason to upgrade. I personally, of course, like that it has the detachable motor now and also this dampening system and overall the better support, but it's not that it is a day and night difference. If your current slider does the job already, then I don't see a reason to upgrade. But if you don't have a slider yet, or you need some of the new features, maybe that triple support system, etc., to mount it upside down, then that is definitely the slider that I would look into, because the price is still quite affordable. It's especially really travel friendly with the detachable motor. Or you can do it like I did now and build a complete setup for your studio, so that you can just place the tripod in front of your table and get your product B-roll shots. And that's what I'm finally doing now, getting the product B-roll for tomorrow's video.
Here, this is a new lens.
How many?
50,000.
Let's do some Fuji, so it's actually free. Okay, now she knows. So, product B-roll shoot done. I got all my shots, and I hope that it was some good inspiration for your own YouTube or film studio to enhance it a bit with tools such as a camera slider to have basically a mobile station in your studio, because you can use it for product B-roll shots, you can use it for time lapses of yourself or anything that goes around in your studio. Like, you can do so much with camera sliders. It's actually really nice, and to be honest, I think it is a good upgrade from the Micro 2 for some people, because it can carry more, you can mount it upside down, etc. But for the ways how I use camera sliders, it's only a minor upgrade. Like for me, the biggest thing was actually that I can mount it like that now on a tripod to have it fixed and it feels more solid, but it was not really enough for an upgrade for me to make an actual review of it, and that's why I thought it's better for this video to make it kind of a project to give you some inspiration for your own YouTube or film studio. So I hope this was helpful, and if you want to know some more examples what you can do with camera sliders like that, check out these two videos here, there you will learn more. And if you enjoyed this video and you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and leave me a thumbs up, and I see you in future videos.